Oh wow, we are keeping up with the Seattle Kraken miracle. We truly are doing that.
We're trying.
Gay Kraken, as you are showing off right there. Yes. Gay, trans, everything. And if you've got a fucking problem with that, you can deal with it with me, and we'll see how it goes for you. Speaking of the Seattle Kraken, since the last episode we did, I just remember the last like I think the last cover photo I used was Ty Cartier. He looks super concerned in it, and that
Oh,
was kind of the vibe of how things were going. Um, the last two episodes have kind of been about their struggles, and they decided, and Jade will not like me for this, but they've decided to turn their swag on and start playing well, which is very fascinating to me. Yeah, they we did an episode a month ago,
not
and
long.
it looks Ty looks very stressed. December 3rd. Um,
Wow.
yeah, December 3rd. Yeah, they were in the middle of that really bad stretch. I mean, that was the 23rd through about the 18th because they got the win over the Kings in overtime at home. But I mean, that's a bunch of wins, bunch of losses in a row. You know, you throw the really bad Edmonton loss in there. Yeah. Um, the cream game, they got creamed by I hate that. Yeah,
I
that was
love it.
that really bad stretch. And you know, since the 20th of December, Miracle, they've decided to wake up. You know, in the three losses they've suffered in this stretch, the
That's
two of
pretty.
them have gone into overtime. You know, so that's wins against. Oh yeah, before the holiday break, right? They sweep the California trip. They beat the Flyers at home. They lose in the shootout to the Canucks, and then they beat Nashville by three. Beat Vancouver in the shootout on the road. That was very. I liked that a lot. Beat the Flames 5-1 on the road. I also liked that a lot. And then they broke a curse in the time that we've been gone. Miracle. Um,
Can we say they broke it? Is it completely broken?
they hadn't, yes, because to me at least, because
Okay.
they hadn't won a game in an alternate, again, like think about it. The
I
reverse
guess that's
retros,
true. Yeah,
never, not counting the actual Winter Classic, which is my perfect baby love. Like nothing can be wrong with the Winter Classic. When they wore them in the actual regular season after that, God, see, look at that thing, looks cool. They lost both of those games. I remember that. I think they got shelled against Minnesota, and then they wore them in Vegas, and it didn't go well.
ugh.
And then with this jersey, right? They've never won an alternate jersey besides the actual Winter Classic. So to me, they did, especially because not only that, but the win included Berkeley Catton's first two goals, right?
That's true.
Uh,
We broke
right.
generational curses.
That was a that was a really fun night to me, you
That
know.
was, yeah, good one.
You know, and then what was it? There's a Minnesota overtime loss where I came up to Miracle in the third period and watched that. The 3-2 loss at Carolina, which I don't know. I didn't realize that the Canes were atop the East.
Yeah, they're crushing it.
They're just always like in sports to me, they're always like the perennial teams that are either in the playoffs or just kind of always there, right? Like at least in the NHL, right? You know, you think of to me, Colorado, right?
Yeah.
We were just talking about Tampa Bay off air. Tampa Bay is actually a point ahead of Carolina right now in the East with two games in hand. But yeah, I mean, you know, that's tough. But then you come out in the last game they played yesterday and beat the Rangers after going down initially. I thought that game was going to get ugly.
Yeah, so did
Uh,
I. I think everybody did. Everybody was prepared for that to be another awful blowout game.
right.
And they
And
were like, never mind.
especially with I don't know if you saw the comments, Miracle, but post game the Rangers are not in a good spot.
Well,
Uh,
I mean, that's what happens when you put JT Miller as your captain. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's funny. Was it JT Miller where the quote
Probably.
was like that they were despondent after that loss? I was like, damn, that's what losing to the Seattle Kraken does to you, I guess.
I mean,
Wow.
been there, buddy, but also,
They've
sorry, not
lost
sorry.
seven of the last eight, and the one win was the actual Winter Classic against the Panthers.
Yeah, the one
Um,
time I rooted for them was
it's kind
because
of
of
funny.
the Panthers.
No, that's right, because the last game that they played ahead of the game against Seattle was that 10-2 loss.
Yeah.
in
I,
Boston. So I guess to you, right? Because I know you've been in a couple of these. Um, just from your perspective, what have you seen, in the I guess win streak and point streak, because for a while it was a point streak until the Carolina loss. I guess what stood out to you, and what's it been like? Because obviously, you know, this whole season hasn't been like this. They started out well. They started out with a sort of, I think it was Lane said this, was that they've kind of had three different time periods in this season, whereas they start off really hot, right? They also weren't losing in regulation. There was this bad time that I just mentioned. And then there's this current part of it. So I just curious to you, also so I can stop speaking, um, what you've seen over this stretch, what either what you like, what you've observed, anything like that. I just want how you feel about the current stretch.
I don't know that they've necessarily, and I think Lane talked about this too. Like they didn't really change the way they've been playing, even when they were losing. They weren't always playing terribly, so they didn't really change a lot of what they were doing. Now they're just kind of getting rewarded for it. And I think Dunn's talked about that a lot too. Like they just kept at it, and now it's finally starting to click. I don't know that we can pinpoint one thing that made it click. Um, I don't know. It's fucking going well. Whatever they're doing, please keep doing it. Keep the fourth line as it is. Don't change that shit because that's driving everything right now. So let's not touch that. This is gonna keep
Oh,
doing it. I'm sorry, I don't know how to make it shut
no, you're good. I haven't heard anything.
up.
Two things on that because you make two good points.
Sometimes I do
That
that.
something that it made me think of with what you were mentioning. Because, yeah, it's not like they've been playing different. I mean, they've been playing low event hockey. Granted, some of these games, they during this stretch, actually, they scored three or more goals. They haven't scored less than three goals in the game, actually, in the stretch since December 20th. So,
That's crazy.
they've been able to find some more goals, but obviously you look at Calgary and then Boston. I mean, you scored 12 goals in a two-game span. It's not bad. Um, but you know, yeah, it's not like they're doing anything different necessarily. They're not changing how they play offensively. I mean, it is kind of cool to see them, be able to look somewhat competent off the rush. They don't look totally useless in their cycle game, which is nice. It's different than the years past, but
I think
yeah,
getting
no,
Canner back helped a lot too.
mm,
Getting Canner back helped us a lot.
right,
Yeah, that's
and
clearly we were missing Jared
that
McCann.
was that was something too where I gotta look at what it looks like now. Lines, oh yeah, because I know they bumped him up when Jordan Eberle went out. God, I'll have to mention injuries at some point because of where we're at currently, because this is a rare point where it's not super bad. Knock on wood.
I was like,
Um,
"Shh,
the Yeah, the Berkeley Shane Jared line. I don't mind that just because of the off. I think, and I've said this. I feel like to you and Jade. Also, I should mention Jade is not here for outstanding reasons. We didn't like exile her. Um, she's dealing with it right now. We'll say that.
she's going through
Um,
it.
so I forgot to mention that. We did not exile Jade.
We love you."
Um, we did not sacrifice her to break the curse. That's not what happened. Um, No, just like I feel like I've talked about this to people before, but just like the offensive creativity that Berkeley and Shane can bring, and then a guy that, at times has been an elite scorer when he's healthy, in Jared McCann, I think that's fun. I like that line. So I am totally fine with working with that. And I know I think it was the Boston win, I think it was, where we talked to him afterwards. Because the morning skate of Lane Lambert had said uh, that Jared has been like a mentor to those two, and I was like, oof, wow, really, really feeding my agenda here. But and then he said, "Is it just feels like I'm old?" I think when he was asked about it after the game.
Which,
Um,
shut up, Jared.
but yeah, no, it's. it's not like they're doing a ton, and it gets to a point I'll make about Matty where it just does seem like offensively they're doing some of the things you wanted them to. Matty's not like this big, massive guy who's going to get net front, but the point was made, I think by RJ from Emerald City Hockey, our buddy RJ, that he just kind of is able to get lost in some of those like scrambly, chaotic situations with the puck around the net because again, because he's not a big guy, and if you're not going to be a big guy and go net front and be a power forward, then at least be. And you said this, I know you said this, and I think you brought it up in some relation to Allison Lukan, but just having that awareness for loose pucks around the net, where
God.
they really haven't had the best awareness for that, right? Where it's
No,
just like, hey, this is waiting right there for you. I need you to take advantage of it, right?
I will say they've gotten better the last couple games. I've noticed that there's bodies there. Not as not necessarily always, able to make it happen, but they are, oh shit, I should be here in front of the net now. Like,
Right, which is that can certainly help you. I mean,
yeah,
like when they're around there, it was really fun after that Wild game. I went back and I was watching the replay. Um, and that sequence where Maddie gets the game tying goal is fun because they've got Jared out on the flank and it's just like, all right, you're just gonna let that guy use an elite shot and shoot it.
it's
And
fine.
generally that should generate a rebound if it's not beating him, right? And the first time it did, Maddie just couldn't get it past Wallstedt at a time, which is not the craziest fact in the world because I mean, Wallstedt's been playing crazy for Minnesota. Both of their goalies have been playing insane, but it's fun because they go back to it, and Maddie is able to be in a better spot to just lift that puck um, and score. Which again, if you're not going to be big and you're not going to like get this muscle mass, like being around the net, being around the crease, and just being more aware of rebounds certainly not a bad thing, to do. So that was, I remembered that point. And then Miracle doesn't like when I tag Allison Lukan.
No, no, thank you.
Being perceived.
No,
No.
thank you.
Um, yes, in the fourth line. This is where things are gonna get interesting. Because I was thinking about this today as well, because the point was brought up, because the Kraken social media posted Brandon Montour uh in a normal practice jersey,
That's gonna
which
be fun.
it could be nothing because it was just a practice on the road and there's none of us to see it. But I don't know. I did see him I think it was ahead of the Minnesota game, um, ahead of morning skate on his own. I was the only person that saw that. And I said, interesting. Uh, but the problem here is, okay, we go over to our handy dandy Puckpedia. Okay? We go over to the Kraken right now. Get out of the way. Uh, they are at the roster limit of 23 players. So if you're gonna bring Monty back, someone's got to come out. Um, and so, and that's also the point too. With Jaden Schwartz coming back, is Matt Murray, who people are wondering, hey, when's Matt Murray gonna come back? Matt Murray's been practicing for like 2, 3 weeks.
Yep.
And I talked to Colin Zulianello about a week ago. I gotta write that. Um, uh, and he like his verbiage in talking about Matt was essentially that he was ready or really close to it. So it's like you are kind of in a tough position because who are you, removing from this? The point could be made that something unfortunate can happen and you could lose someone else to injury, God
Mhm.
forbid, right? But it becomes interesting because I think the only guys with true options to be sent down without waivers, not including a guy like Shane Wright, you're not sending him down,
No,
um,
that would be stupid.
are Ryan Winterton and Jacob Melanson, two guys that have been huge for that fourth line,
Yeah.
right? So, it's
Man, that sucks. I don't want to see
okay.
either of them go down.
Sorry, I had to check this. Lane Lambert said that there was no contact at practice today, so there's no point in Brandon Montour wearing red.
Red.
But
Oh,
this quite this
still.
topic can still be brought up anyway. Um, yeah, no, Wright, Winterson, Melanson are the only players who can go down to Coachella Valley without waivers. And unfortunately, I don't think any of those guys gain anything from playing in Coachella Valley right now. I was thinking about this a lot today. Um, and effectively you could have it be, you send them down, one of them down until a spot opens again. But I mean, it becomes interesting. Like, I have to pull up my lines again. Damn it, I lost them. But with Chandler coming back, Chandler and his wife Tasha welcome their third baby into the world. Paula, I believe, is her name.
Adorable.
I think, yeah, it was interesting hearing Allison say it. I was like, say that again. I don't understand what you're saying. Yeah, so Freddie Gaudreau probably gets bumped from his 2C spot, and Chandler goes back in there. And then I'd imagine you put Freddie somewhere on the fourth line there, uh, in Winterton or Myers' spot. I think the conclusion I came to was that you bump Winterton out, and put Freddie there because Freddie has the offensive talent and you could free him up
Yeah.
from his centerman duties, play him on the wing, right? It sucks for Wentz because I thought he's played a really solid game this year,
Yeah.
but it's just kind of the reality of the situation. Um, unless you decide to move off of a guy, and I don't know who that would be, on the wing. Uh, it's tough. It's tough. I don't know.
It's
I feel
weird
like
being
I'm
in a
rambling.
spot where we're like, everybody's playing pretty good. I don't want to put anybody down because well,
Right.
fair. There are people I would put down, but they can't go down. It doesn't like everybody's doing pretty good. I don't want to get rid of anybody, so it fucking sucks.
Yeah. No, it's difficult because, you you can't send a guy like Cartier down
No,
because he
God, no.
doesn't have waivers and somebody would snap him up. Um, yeah, no, it's quite difficult. And then at least in the defenseman side of things, like Cale Fleury's played pretty well in Brandon Montour's absence. I did not expect that. I made the joke. No, I made the Mahura for Norris joke. That's right. That's right. I was running that bit in the beginning of the season. Um, Yeah, no, it's difficult, man. I mean, I don't know. If I'm stepping into the Jason Botterill seat, that I think is what I would do is I would send Wentz down. Goudreau bumps into either you put him or Myers on Winterton's wing spot, and you run it from there. Because that was also a point. Um, some folks, you wonder about what they're going to do at the trade deadline. I think this is a team with how they're playing, and if you see some other guys, like Matty's doing what he's doing in terms of just being a little bit more aware of the puck around the net.
Oh,
Just,
you lost your sound. I can't hear you. Oh, there you go. You're back now.
I love when my camera decides to turn on its microphone. It's not what I wanted, but like, yeah, I don't know. Like, you get Chandler Stevenson back in there. Jaden Schwartz is back for the first time in a while. You get him back in the fold. The Kako Beniers Eberle line, I do kind of like that and how that's working.
Yeah, they're
Uh,
doing a good job together, so I don't think we should touch
so
that.
Cat and Wright McCann, you let Jared McCann, kind of still continue to get into his rhythm. Like I don't think there are people who are gonna like it, and that's fine. There's, I think there are some people who will like it because there's the folks who would like to acquire and not lose anybody. I get that. I respect both. I respect both sides. Um, I just think they have to stand pat. Like if this franchise is dead set on making the playoffs and doing everything they can to win, you have to leave it alone. It's working well right now. You can't touch it, right? I mean,
My
and
biggest
then you
complaint
just
about the fucking second season when we made it all the way to playoffs, and then they were like, "Okay, bye, blow it up," and then I was like, "Well, now look." So yeah, I agree. I think we should just leave it alone. Don't.
well, and then in the
It ain't
third
broke. Don't
season,
fix it.
I remember after the what they got like a period or two away from going to the Western Conference Final. Ron Francis said, I think on the radio or something, he had an interview where he said he was going to go. They weren't going to be complacent, and they wanted to add something big. that something big was, and I'm not shading his, okay, like, calm down.
I didn't
Kyle
say anything.
Yamamoto, Pierre Edward Belmar, and Brian Doolan. Those are
Mhm.
not big swings, right? So, you know, effectively you could spin it like this. I'm gonna spin it. I'm the media. I'm gonna spin things. You've got a bunch of guys at the end of the season that will come off of the books. You have a decent amount of draft picks in the like first two rounds stockpiled. You could go into the like sit, touch wood. You could go to the playoffs this year. Who gives a shit what happens? I just like playoff hockey. It's fun.
I
You
think
get in
getting
that
there
building. Getting
huge.
there, getting the city back into that is going
Yeah.
to be fun. Okay? You do that. Even if you don't win the fucking Stanley Cup, which I can almost guarantee they won't, I would love to be in a parade in June and be wrong about that, and then everybody throws pie at me. That's fine. I will accept that if we get to that point. I'll wear a wig for a week. Um, but yeah, you get what I'm saying. You get to this point, and you could get to the playoffs, and you're happy about that because it's the second time you've done it in franchise history. You're gonna have a lot of money coming off of the books. You can easily do like a quick like retool here with
For
the
sure.
money you're gonna have, with the draft picks you're gonna have. You've already seen guys like Winterton, Melanson show who they can be. Berkeley Catton will take another step forward in year two. I kind of feel good about where you're at. You still don't necessarily have a clear path to a superstar, acquiring a superstar player. I don't know. Maybe Jason Robertson wants out of Dallas in the offseason,
Come on over, Robo.
right? Do you see what I'm saying? Do you see why I've kind of talked myself into this? Like,
Yes.
I was fully on the side of like you need to get younger, but I've after seeing how things have worked out, I'm kind of okay with how it's going, right?
Yes.
Like, you're not
I
going to win a Stanley Cup this year, and you're not going to fall to get a Gavin McKenna, who hasn't necessarily been lighting it up in college either. And then there's also been a bunch of reports he wants to be in Calgary, which, hey
oh,
man,
that's a choice, buddy. All right.
right, right. Um,
Good luck with that.
I like winning. So getting to the playoffs, getting to experience playoff hockey again,
Mine's
I
better than
would
that.
not be mad at that. I think it would be really cool to have that, and playoff hockey, the style that this team is playing benefits off from playoff hockey. It's low event. It's defensive. You grind teams down.
Which I
Uh,
think is what Lane has said from the jump anyway. Like that's how he wanted to win, and that's what he's fucking doing. So
right.
good for him.
Like there
Like,
was no secret about how this
no,
team was
he
going to
said
look
it from
this
day
year,
one. Like,
right? So yeah, Miracle. I don't know. I'm kind of fine with this, and I mean, the point was made. This was something that I think we talked about earlier in the season when we knew they were going to burn his ELC. But Berkeley Catton like continues to be comfortable in the NHL. He's scoring. He broke through the getting the first NHL goal thing.
thank goodness. Poor kid.
Like see his game continue. He'll continue to learn throughout his first year in the NHL. Um, yeah, Shane's playing on a line with him and a vet like Jared McCann. Like
I think
I
that's going to
just
turn out to be a really good line.
I see no reason to touch anything at this current point in time. Things could change in like a week,
Yeah.
but as
That
it is, I'm fine with it. Um, yeah. Do you have any further thoughts on the stretch they're on or anything like that I'm going to touch on before I talk about Philipp Grubauer?
no, let's talk about Phil. Phil.
Phil, let it be known that I have never been on the negative side with Philipp Grubauer. I
This
got
is
to a
not
point
the
where it
podcast for
seemed
that.
increasingly likely that they were going to buy him out. And so I had to come to terms with that emotionally. I don't work well with change, okay? Which is funny because
This
this whole
sport
industry is about change. Um,
valid though. I don't
but
change my shit.
right, right. But man, it's been really great to see the resurgence of Philipp Grubauer, like I wasn't sure how the three goalie system would work for him coming into if you had everybody going, right? Because Phil, for years, as a guy who's covered him for 5 years now, at times when he's been frustrated or when he hasn't been playing or whatever, has talked about needing rhythm. He's a guy who needs to be in rhythm to be at his best. You don't get that when you're playing Joey Decord 10 games and then fill one game at a time, right? That just doesn't work. That's an exaggeration. Doesn't
but
always
not
feel
by
that way. You
much.
get the point, right? Um, like at oh yeah, when he had won 4 games in a row, I was like, all right, it's graphic time. At that point, 10 quality starts on the season, 4 straight wins. And then like the league numbers, I was telling Miracle this. I was pulling these up because I thought maybe, he's played pretty well the last few starts he's gotten. He was the one in goal for the Rangers win. I thought maybe he'd taken a dip because they weren't as stellar in comparison to what he'd been doing. But Phil is third in the NHL in goals against average and first in save percentage, which is pretty crazy. Um,
Look
you
at us.
know, like Joey, I don't think it's controversial and it's not personal, Joey. Not personal like when you and I talk shit about our soccer teams, but I don't think he's necessarily had the greatest year. I don't think he's had the years he's wanted. Phil's been your best starter this season,
Yeah.
consistently. Like the point was made, Matt Murray has better numbers, but it's a smaller sample size, so
Yeah. So, I mean, it's kind of even out.
technicality,
Yeah.
right? But he's played fantastic. He's giving you a game like the best chance to win. I think it was, I don't know, I don't think he was in goal in Carolina, but it was a start he had. It was, oh yes, the Minnesota game. I think that first goal was kind of soft, but that'd been like the first soft goal he'd allowed in months. Like I
Yeah.
think you can give a guy a mulligan in that regard. Um, yeah, no, I'll shut up here in a minute so you can talk about Phil. But like, and someone like mentioned this as well in a reply to us. They were just happy that, you know, because they said, "Oh, everything I've seen about him is a great human being." If anybody needs it more from a guy who has talked to him a good amount, excellent human being. Like I cannot continue to emphasize that. I know I've told Miracle things, I've told Jade things. Like he will be remembered very well by the people that work in the organization. Um, you know, so uh, yeah, it's really great to see this happening for him right now. Um, Miracle, your thoughts on the horse boy?
The horse boy. I am thrilled to be on board for the Philipp Grubauer revenge tour. Like, it's been nothing but him being shit on for like what, 3 seasons now, 4 seasons now. So for him to kind of get back up to where he was and be able to like be proud. I mean, I think he should always be proud of what he's done, but to be able to be proud again and not have people being like, well, me for everything is, I think he's earned it. I'm glad. And I'm also glad we had 3 goalies because look what happened almost immediately out of the gate. Like we needed that. So I think you're right. He needs that rhythm and he needs to stay in that rhythm. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens when Matt's back.
Yeah, no, that's a tough thing because Matt was playing really well before he got hurt.
Yep. He
I
sure
was
was.
really, that was really hard because what was the whole thing that we had looked at and heard about in training camp was how much better he felt physically, right? So, and Matt's a great guy. Matt's the reason I own Carhartt. So, so
It's gonna be
yeah,
crazy to see us with 3 good goalies. Like, what are we gonna do?
right. That was another thing was well the J Fresh like advanced statistics on goalies, like how the Kraken are usually on the lower spectrum of like expected goal. Like the Kraken have been in the top 5 to 10 teams in terms of like how good their goalies are playing by the advanced numbers. I'm like, wow, what a
That's
time.
yep.
So yeah. Oh yeah. I mean I've kind of talked about him. This is kind of like a jumble episode, but at least in the last 11 games, Matty's been playing at a point per game
Good.
pace, +6. Um, you know, I just, hey, I can be wrong about the guy. He's got time. He did sign a ZLC, so it's not like you sign him to the bridge deal and he's gonna get better and his price tag will go up. No, you've got him locked up long term. Um, his 200-foot game was never in question. Like it's always kind of fun to see him playing really well as a defensive center, one of the better defensive centermen in the league. But just seeing points come is really refreshing, right? Because what have I complained about with him for, I know you've only been on with us, for the last year or so, but for years I've complained about his offense because it was supposed to take a jump, right? Like that's unfortunately the world we live in sports journalism is that we psychoanalyze everything down to a T. And if you, especially as a young player, no matter what the sport, are not improving in some tangible way that we can see, typically linearly, you are going to be judged. And, especially when a large contract isn't involved, like there is that pressure.
Yeah.
Uh, The point will always be made, though, that progress is not always linear, and I think that's what we're seeing with Matty. It's just it seems like maybe something's clicked for him. Whether it is knowing, with the limitations of his size, where to be on the ice offensively, when you guys have the puck in the zone. You probably shouldn't be sitting that front because you're not going to do it like that. You
You
know what I
like,
mean?
is he a pool noodle? Like,
Inty, yeah, no. You know what I mean? Like you
yeah.
just you understand you just have a better evaluation of of self, right?
I definitely think
So,
that's what's going on with Matty.
right?
He's always seen the ice really well. I just feel like he's not ever not I don't want to say not ever, that's a lie. He's not necessarily been one to know where to be, which I've said about all of them at the beginning of the
Sure.
season. Like they know what they need to do, they just don't know how to do it. So I think we're finally seeing, and the whole team, our offense was shit for a long time. It's still not
Right.
us, definitely improved. Um, so I think that on top of him figuring out who he is as a player is what we're seeing right now. I hope it keeps going because hell yeah, he's doing great. Good for him. Like
He's
he's still
still so
young.
young.
Yeah, he's that's a toddler. So like he's only I have hopes that he's only going to improve because
He's only 23. He's
that's
younger than me still. I forgot about that.
that's awful. That's a toddler.
Hmm,
I mean, I still don't know if he knows what his role is in the room kind of thing. Like I feel like maybe that A was a little premature for him.
sure.
But he's taking it seriously and he is trying to figure that out. So I think that's all you can ask for from Maddie at this point is like he's trying. He's not blaming it on whatever or like, deflecting. He's one of the ones that when we go in the room, he's one of the first ones that are there to talk to us. So
Right. Yeah, no, that's a good point. That's a very good point. Like, see, it's so cool. I'm always very proud of who I picked to talk with me about these things. Anyway, sorry, that was heavy. Um, no, it's a good point because it's like when, and maybe that factors into it, when you go and look at the guy, you talk to the guy, it doesn't seem like he's 23, right? He
no.
doesn't carry himself in that way. And it's tough. Like you come here as a guy straight out of Michigan, you were a kid, and you're thrust into a new market. You're across the country from where you grew up. You don't know anybody out here. You are looked at, as the first draft pick of this new franchise. There's a lot of expectation. Again, what is our job? I don't think we're as bad as other outlets in that regard, but there is the expectation from media. This is your young star. This is your guy. Why isn't he doing this? Da, 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 da. Right? Like,
I think a lot of that too was Seattle was brand new. A lot of people out here
right.
didn't know, myself included, we didn't know shit about hockey. So like
They know
we,
shit about shit.
I mean, that's me every day anyway. But figuring that out while they were trying to figure out how to talk about what they were doing or not doing, I think it was just
There's a lot
a
going on.
lot. It's a lot to put on how was he 23? A lot to put on a 23-year-old. Like, but I think he handles it well. I will give him that all day, every day.
Yeah. Hey, and as much flack as I've given some of the veterans in this room, I'm sure they've been big for him in that
Oh yeah.
regard. You know. So I mean, obviously, a ton of them have played in more stressful hockey markets than Seattle. That
Yeah.
is for
I
sure.
mean, we're not that bad. Like
No,
we're chill.
comparatively, no. Yeah, no. I guess unless there's anything we haven't hit on, I will look at standings and I will look at what's ahead. Anything on your mind from, or yeah, we haven't talked since early December. So if there's anything that you think is important, well, and we've touched on a bunch of things in smaller form, but if there's anything particularly like I jumped to Berkeley actually being able to score and getting that frustration off of him is something that, maybe in a little bit we'll come back here and do that again when we've got more time or something. But I don't know. Anything that didn't get mentioned in length that you want to put a spotlight on.
No.
All right. We
What is
will look ahead here. Yeah, they are in New Jersey tomorrow. Oh yeah, they do this little like northeast thing where they played the Rangers yesterday. They play the Devils tomorrow, and then they play Boston the day after. So it's a Jersey Boston back to back. Then they will finish their road trip off in Utah. The Utahns,
That's
I have
always
to say it. I always say it. They will play the Soakers in Utah on January 17th.
Soakers
Uh,
is a better name than Mammoth.
really, I don't mind the Mammoth.
I don't dislike it. I just think Soakers is funnier.
Jesus Christ. Um, goddamn miracle. Yeah, and they come back for a decent road trip. Pittsburgh, New York, Anaheim, New Jersey again. Why? Um, why? Hey, Tate McRae's gonna be there. Sorry.
I know that out there.
Threw myself off. Six game,
That's,
six game,
we don't get that.
six game. Homestand. And then they go on a bit of a road trip. That will extend from before the Olympic break, the Olympics, the Olympic ice rink, and the iPad of
The Olympic break, maybe. Yeah, which
Um, and then yeah, they'll be on the road for two games after that, um, fresh out of the Olympic break. So yeah, God, third. I told Miracle this off camera. I went to go and if you go to the NHL website, you sort standings, you sort by wild card. I immediately went to the Western Conference wild card. I said, "Where are the Kraken?" Like I know they're not great, but they shouldn't be that. Like I was looking for them. I was like, I don't see them. I was like, oh yeah, they're playoff spot in the Pacific Division.
woo,
Um, Yeah, 50 points right now. They're only a point ahead of San Jose
which is
in the
also crazy.
standings.
Good for San Jose, man. Like, what the fuck is happening in the Pacific right now?
The fourth team in this wild card standings is just 2 points. Excuse me. Only 2 points separates the fourth spot in the wild card from the last spot in the Pacific.
That's
In the
nuts.
Central,
What a weird
it's
year,
a hellhole. The Central is terrible.
as
It's
usual.
terrifying out there.
They're scary.
Yeah, no, they've got 3 games in hand against Edmonton, who have 54 points, but the Golden Knights are tied with Edmonton at 54 and also have 3 games in hand. So I wish the Las Vegas Golden Knights, generally, of course, very explode, especially Carter Hart, explode and perish forever. Um, yes. Oh, yes, I was going to look at giveaway nights because I love looking at giveaway nights because we love the people who put these things together. The next thing is January 19th, 6 days from now, 2 p.m. game against Pittsburgh.
Oh, I
That's
forgot.
why you want to go to that game, Miracle, is because it's the nightlight game, the Bowie nightlight, the first 5,000 kids in attendance. I am 24 years old. I think I qualify as a child.
I
Um,
don't, but I
we'll
want one.
we'll take home a Bowie nightlight. Um,
Which is terrifying, but like one of the coolest things I've ever seen. It's
I
so
need a nightlight.
scary, but I need it.
I need a nightlight. Yeah. And then 6 days later, oh yeah, this is the rescheduled luggage tag. Because the luggage tag initially was supposed to be given away earlier in the season, but there was a shipping mishap, and they are ready to go January 5th, 1 p.m. game against New Jersey. First 10,000 fans.
That's
And
another
then
early one. Dang.
the next one, oh, wait, sorry. I apologize for my outburst. Um, Sometimes the giveaways later in the season are revealed randomly. They like don't they get posted and we don't know. The fan appreciation night or the final giveaway of the season is a cooler backpack that looks like
Oh,
the reverse no, the Abyss jersey. Yeah. When you get a minute, go and look it up. Um, I could put it on the screen, but yeah, that looks cool. Oh man.
That's
Oof.
fun.
All full arena giveaway too. So it's not like anybody will be slighted. That's nice. Do we have theme nights? Yeah, the kids game is the 19th. Children terrify me.
That'd be great.
21st of January is pickleball night.
It's the day after my birthday.
I did
Pickleball.
not write that
I
down.
still don't understand the
The
Pacific Northwest
first,
love of pickleball.
they're building a pickleball facility near my house.
Sure, why not?
Inner Bay, man. Yeah. So this will probably come out the morning of the 14th when they play in New Jersey. It'll probably be out the night of, but it's 9 o'clock. I don't know what Simcoe is up. Besides Milo. Hi, Milo. Milo mentioned
Hello.
episode. Milo
We
mentioned
got to get a tracker, a
we
Milo
got a
tracker.
quota. We're just gonna start it off at like 20. I'll throw that in there. I'll figure something out. So it'll just be like Phil's face or something.
Oh my God, we should. Every time we should just put a little Phil graphic every time we say Milo's name.
Yeah, I'll work on. I have to edit it. So
There you go.
uh, more work for myself. Yeah, man. Until we see you next time, probably with the trio of us with Jade.
Hopefully.
Uh, take care of yourselves. Be well. Do whatever you can to make today a great day.
Hey, Charles.
Hey, Jen.
Hey, where are you going to watch all those Kraken away games?
Kraken away games, making a push. I was thinking of coming here just because Rough and Tumble is the home of circling Seattle sports, only if that's okay with you.
I mean, I love that idea. Hope to see you here.